Hey everyone, this is DeskWriter24. I am back from the dead, so to speak. I just had new inspiration for starting a series on the Finnish car building slash survival simulator, My Summer Car. In this game, basically you go and you have to go and get the Satsuma, also known in real life as the Datsun 100A or the Nissan Cherry, up and running. So what we need to do is get that up and running, and that is going to be our episode. So to go ahead and get so also, I'm going to be doing a also I am going to be doing what is considered by most people to be a Christian speedrun. So, well, I shouldn't say Christian speedrun. I should say more along the lines of a Christian playthrough. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically I'm going to be removing several of the core elements in the game. Namely, I'm going to be removing the... So, namely, I'm going to be removing a bunch of stuff. So there are a few rules. 1, no alcohol. I cannot drink spirits. I cannot drink beer. I cannot drink vodka. I cannot drink booze. Anything that involves alcohol. I cannot smoke, which means no cigarettes, which is your most reliable way to get your sanity down. Not your sanity, your stress down. And I also am going, and there's also going to be some other rules in there. For instance, no murder, there's going to be some other rules in there, so no murder, try to keep to the speed limit, no stealing or anything like that, no unnecessary violence, so on and so forth. This game is considered to be extremely difficult, which is why most people have what is known as the My Summer Car editor. Basically edits your save file so you can make the game a lot easier. For instance, you can turn certain things such as thirst or stress to negative infinity, and all sorts of other stuff. But regardless, and what is my goal for this series? My goal for this series is to get the Satsuma up and running and licensed. Farther down the road will be the rally competition. And doing the rally competition is obviously a core aspect of this game. It is an achievement to complete the rally all in one go. You might ask, how will you finish this game? To be honest, that will be a very last episode thing. Depending on how long this series takes, I plan on ending this series whenever My Winter Car, which is going to be the next game installment, is going to come out. There is still no set release date for My Winter Car. It has been delayed multiple times over, but it's supposed to be a sequel to My Summer Car. Basically, the way that My Summer Car ends is you're supposed to lay with this girl. However, there is multiple issues to this situation. For one, in order to start dating her, you need to kill her boyfriend. After that, she will date you a couple times, and then you're going to have to get blackout drunk. This is why I'm saving this until the end. While it is not going to be an obvious true Christian speedrun, it will be close enough for our it'll be close enough for our standards, because a true Christian speedrun is going to be extremely difficult. Or rather should I say, impossible. Because you do not have the option of finishing this game without drinking and or murder. The murder part is technically optional. You can technically get away without doing the murdering part. You just have to egg. Basically, you have to egg the dude. The boyfriend that gets mad at you. Basically, you have to egg the boyfriend that gets mad at you into a race, and let him just basically run around until he crashes. He goes so fast that he will lose traction and kill himself eventually. So, without further ado, I will go ahead and get this game started. First things first is we're going to have to choose our car color. To be honest, I really like the navy blue and I really like the olive green. However, I have done several of these colors before, so we'll just go ahead and do the navy blue. If you're wondering what this smiley face is up here for, it turns on some nice music. However, the music is fairly annoying, especially when you're listening to it forever and ever. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. However, my current save has been transferred over to a different... My other save has been transferred over to a different file. The save for the 15,000 kilometer challenge, which I do plan on restarting at some point. It's just going to take me a bit to get it. It's just going to take me a little bit. So we'll go ahead and hit New Game. And it'll go ahead and ask you to put in your name. You can put in any name you want. The first name is not required. The last name is. And then you go ahead and hit begin. It will give you a. It will force you to go through a cutscene the first time. I've gone through this cutscene multiple times over, so there's not really any point in me going through it. It's basically a cutscene that involves your birth, showing you how you were born inside the back of the Satsuma. But I can go ahead and skip it for you, and we'll go ahead and load up the new game. And we'll go ahead and load up that new game. So I will be back with you in just a second. Alrighty, now that we're loading up the year 1995, our guy is 16 years old, so the Satsuma came out about when he was done. We are playing on permadeath, which most likely will be an issue, mild issue. But there are several things that we need to do to start the game off. First things first, you have very, very limited food and drink to start with. Also, since this is a Christian playthrough, we're just gonna go ahead, and if I can remember all the controls to this game, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry, I just had to look at the controls for a second. Since we are doing a Christian quote-unquote playthrough, we're gonna go ahead and just chuck this case of beer into yonder, into the hay bales back here. So we never have to see it again. Also, just so you know, if you are using the editor to get back home quickly, 00 will always be that rack of hay bales. Now, technically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to sit and wait until Uncle, who is over there, comes back, and then you can take his van, as evidenced by this note. Uncle's blue van can be loaned. Unfortunately, we don't have that thing. We don't have that option at the moment. What we need to do is we need to do several things, and we need to get them all done by nightfall. So, the list of things that we need to do, are one, go and get Uh, hey, go get the following things from Timo's. We're going to need to get the following things. We're going to need to get one oil, one coolant, 3 brake fluid, if I can spell, sausages, which are vital, all the milk we can get. We're also going to need to get lights. We're also going to need to get headlights, a fan belt, fuses, and spark plugs. We also should get a new oil filter because our old oil filter is really, really bad. And what do you know? It shows you everything. But I basically just put the easy things, but I just basically put it all on one list. So let's go ahead and back all this off. And the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to visit a couple places. We are going to need to visit we're going to need to visit Fleetaris. We're going to need to visit Fleetaris for new wheels. We are also going to need to get a couple things in the mail, one of which is going to be the ratchet set and the extra gauges. I will show you how to do that in a second. We also need to go to the old mansion. Reason being is because the old mansion will give us a set of 4 free wheels. There are multiple parts that you can find out in the world, and that makes life very easy. To get us started, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, because there are several things that we're going to need to grab from the garage, which is going to be outside. First things first, we're going to run ourselves over here to the barn, and for one reason only. And for a reason which I shall explain in a second. Also, one thing you do want to do, come over here, grab this present, open it. There'll be a bottle of booze in there. There'll be a bottle of booze in there. Just go ahead, chuck that out of the way. This is from Uncle. You'll get the turbo badge, which we'll just leave here at the moment, and then you get this, which is random gift money. We got about 860 marks, which I think is the higher end of the spectrum. Very good, very good. Which means we have extra money to work with. Now, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to come over here, and we're going to need to grab 2 things. We're going to need to grab this thing. This is our tractor. Our tractor is going to be what is most beneficial to us. Hit enter to enter driving mode. Press R to change the range to high mode, because yes, you do want it in high mode. Release the parking brake. Turn up the throttle slightly. A little more. And it'll start right up. Then turn down the throttle a little bit, because this thing won't stall itself on its own, but it will idle really, really low. If you feel the idle's getting too low, go ahead and bump the throttle up a little bit. Now, use your gear shift keys. I have mine set to Q and E. Put it in first, make sure the parking brake's off, and just jam the gas. The clutch is automatic unless you have it set to non-automatic. And don't forget to switch gears if you want to go faster. Our mailbox is here. That'll be very important for later because we do get bills over time. What we're going to need to do first is we're going to need to head over here to the garage. And there are several things in the garage that we're going to want to pick up. Here is the body and the front seat of your Satsuma. Go ahead and leave on the... Go ahead and put the parking brake on. You also have the Jonas, which is an alternate form of transportation. However, it's not recommended, especially if you're playing on a keyboard like I am. Go ahead and open up the garage, and there's several things that we're going to need to grab. First thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to come over here to, I believe, the shelf? Yes, over here to the shelf, because there should be a battery sitting around here somewhere. Yes, here it is. This battery is not great. It will deplete charge over time. Just place it here for charging. Just don't let it get all the way to the right. You can see the needle moving back up, I believe. Yeah, the needle is starting to slowly move back up. If it gets all the way to the right, like bottomed out to the right, it will not charge. We'll see if that charges. Most likely I'll buy a new battery just to make sure. You're going to want to bring this jerry can with you. This jerry can will be your fuel. Go ahead and chuck this into the fan here. You're going to want to grab the sledgehammer for the mansion doors. You can also use the tractor forks, but that just wastes extra fuel. Go ahead and grab the sledgehammer. And we are also going to chuck the sledgehammer in here. Like so. Next. This is very important. You need to not lose this. Go into the parts catalog. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff you can buy in here. However, we're only looking for three things. We're looking for the AFR gauge, extra gauges, and we're also looking for this, the ratchet set. Ratchet set will speed up our building of the car significantly. Go ahead and hit down here at Tilianit. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It'll create an envelope. Pick up said envelope, run it outside, throw it in the car, throw it in the tractor, not like how I did. It's on the back of the tractor. Grab it, chuck it in the tractor, chuck it on the floor. It's the safest spot for it. You also need to come over here and look at several things. Look and see which parts are broken. Check all of your pistons. All of your pistons will be super black and greasy if they are bad. Check the rocker cover, make sure there's no valves missing, and check the crankshaft, make sure it's not bent. Most likely what we ended up getting is one that is not obvious for being bad. The starter looks perfectly fine. It's not completely black. Yeah, I think we got lucky on parts. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be either the water pump or the fuel pump that's bad. Go ahead and run yourself outside. Actually, since we are a little thirsty, go ahead and run yourself inside the house. You can drink water straight from the tap by leaning into it. And now what we're going to do is we are going to head firstly and foremostly over to Timo. This is a very long and incessant drive, so I will spare you the pain of having to endure this in this video, and I will go ahead and get this done and be back as soon as I am there. So, give me 1 second. I guess I should get you all instructions on how to get to Timo's. So, it is very simple. Getting to Timo's is very simple. Just be careful because there is a green car that likes to drive around. That green car is your cousin. You can hitchhike with him in order to get home. However, that is only if you have no other option left. So, to get to Timo's, you're going to go ahead and follow the road from your house. You're going to follow it all the way down to the first intersection. Be mindful going over the train tracks, because going over the train tracks will get you killed, especially if there's a train coming. It doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, what harness you have on, you will die if you go over the train tracks. So coming up here is your intersection. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and slow down, and apparently it decided to start raining, which is fine. We have wipers. Go ahead and turn to the right, and that's how you will be getting to Timo's. Follow this road all the way down until it makes it to the highway, and I will see you then. In order to turn your wipers on, you will find a switch that is labeled wipers. Also, just so you know, the rain in Finland is very sporadic, very random, so it'll come and go. So I will meet you whenever I get to the, yonder to Timo's. Actually, I shouldn't say go to Timo's just yet. On your way to Timo's, you will find this, which is the dirt track. Go ahead and drive yourself back to the back here. There is a reason. There is something here that will make your life far easier, but is not mandatory for the vehicle. Also, no, there is no over-rev risk for the tractor, unlike all other vehicles. Drive over here. Put the parking brake on. Go ahead and get out of the vehicle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run ourselves over here into this tree line. Reason being is because around the map you can find various parts for the Satsuma, mostly the GT parts, as you can see by this grill. This is the GT grill. We'll go ahead and grab this, but what you're after actually is the other part that is over here. What you're after is the second part that's over here, which now I lost it. Yep, sounds about right. It's over here. This is the second part that you're after. This is the RPM gauge. It was only available in the Satsuma GT, which you have the base model. You do have the option of upgrading to the Satsuma GT, giving it the paint job, putting all the parts in it. So go ahead and grab the RPM gauge and stick it in there. Go ahead and stick the GT grill in there as well. It'll be a bit of a weird fit, but it'll fit. Also, there is technically a trailer that'll make your life a lot easier. However, it is annoying to drive around with, so it's not really a point. So, I will go ahead and see you at Timo's. Alright, you'll come across this area here, which is an off-ramp for the highway. Go ahead and traverse your way down this off-ramp. Also, unless you have the watch, which you wouldn't have at this point unless you cheated it in, you would check with you. This tractor doesn't have a clock in it either, so unfortunately we are not able to check the time. This is why it's essential you do it quickly. Go ahead and make a right here on the highway. Be very careful because these cars will run you over. Also, whenever you're in other vehicles other than the tractor, be very mindful as you come across this area. There is physically no way to get into Timo's except for the back roads. There's no way to get to Timo's except for the back roads without running into police. There is one in three spots that they will spawn. Those spots are right up here beyond this hill, right outside of town on the north side, and sit on the southern side of the highway in the other entrance to your house. Basically what we're going to do is we're just going to keep on going up here. There are no cops in the tree line. They're difficult to see, but if you see any blue along the tree line on your right side, that means that there are cops there. It looks like we got lucky and there are no cops at this point, so we are good to go ahead and go into Timo's. With sausages, it is recommended to not eat them until you are completely hungry. So when your hunger bar reaches red, that's because they restore 100 hunger. You can also cook them, which will relieve your stress, but we will be saving that for later. Town is going to be right up here on the right side. The town is called Periarvi. And we will go ahead and pull into that town. I will go ahead and do that and show you what it... And it's going to be up here on the right. Also, you can see just from this little section of me driving of why I don't want to show the whole drive of the tractor unless you want the video to be 4 or 5 hours long, because of how stinking long this takes. Alrighty, we're coming up at the town. Go ahead and make a right-hand turn. It is very difficult to flip this tractor except on an incline, so make sure you stay on the road, please. You're going to be driving up here to Timo's shop, and there is something that you're going to be wanting to do as soon as you get there. This tractor does have a fuel gauge. However, this tractor is also rather fuel efficient, and you will rarely ever need to drive it very far. Go ahead and shut it all the way off. What you're going to do is you're going to hop out, grab the jerry can, go ahead and set it on top of yonder gas pump here. Grab your envelope. Grab yonder envelope. And you're going to go ahead and stick the envelope in the mailbox up here. Next, we're going to open the jerry can. Go ahead and fill that jerry can up. Alright, after filling up the jerry can, and yes, I cut that off, make sure you fill up the jerry can all the way. Also, there is technically no fuel spillage, but just close it for safety's sake. Next, what you're going to run and do is you're going to run inside here. This is Timo. He will always have a little phrase for you. We're going to need to buy 2 fuses for the house, especially since it's been storming this early. It normally doesn't. We need to buy an alternator belt, 3 brake clutch fluids, 1 coolant, 1 motor oil, 1 battery, 1 filter, 1 spark plugs, and 2 car light bulbs. Yes, he does close very quick, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and also buy all of the milk, and we're going to buy half of the sausages here. Go ahead and click on the register when you're done. You will drop everything on the floor like an absolute barbarian. You can also headbutt through the wall here. It makes it a little easier for getting all your stuff out. This is the reason why you need to go quickly whenever you're bringing stuff to Timo, when you're trying to go to Timo. It's because of how long it takes. We're gonna go ahead and chuck everything over there. He's already over in there, so we did get very, very lucky with getting here on time. Fortunately, this means Fleetari is already closed. However, every single time you save and re-enter the game, it skips ahead 2 hours without any impact on any of your stuff. So what we're going to do is, since most likely we won't be able to get over to the mansion in time, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead all of that. We're going to go ahead and do a couple things while we are here. For one, your stress will be extremely high whenever you get there. I am going to allow cussing, just in case, you know, because we don't really have any way to alleviate stress while we're here. Let's go ahead, and we're going to head over to a nearby water well. Actually, no, we're not. We're just going to go straight. And yes, you can technically steal fuel. It is not recommended, though. Very, very not recommended. we're going to go ahead and head over to the mansion, and I will see you whenever I get over there. Actually, one thing I will also mention, keep an eye on the side of the road, along this dirt road, especially to Flutaris, because there are several junk cars that can spawn, and if you can get him to Flutari, he will get you a lot of money. It is the easiest way to make money early game, is by going and getting the junk cars that are along the sides of the road here, and towing them over to him. The Kekmet, the tractor, is one of the optimal choices for towing the junk cars. If I end up finding one, I will most certainly show you what they are, exactly they look like, and tow it over there. But I just wanted to let you know of that, and I will be back if I either find a junk car or if I get to the mansion. One of the two. Alright, once you reach the mansion here, which is going to be a little turn off on the left before you hit town, we did get unlucky. We did not find a wrecked car. Go ahead and pull off here. Make sure to put the parking brake on, drop whatever you got, turn the vehicle off. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and grab yonder sledgehammer. You may need to get out in order to get to it, because it might be buried under everything. But don't worry, you got what is called a finish headbutt. Go ahead and pick it up. And you're going to hit F to equip it, then right-click to use it. You will knock down the doors. You do not want to lose this sledgehammer, especially if you start planning on using the sewage tanker in order to get the junk cars. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit F again to unequip, chuck it back in the car. If your thirst ever gets high, there are these little water taps. Just spam click them. They will pour out water, and you can get drink from them. After that, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and head in the mansion here. Now, you don't want to come here at night, super late at night, because it will greatly increase your stress. What you want to do is you want to walk along the edge here, for one reason. That bulbous mass up there is a hornet nest. They will sting you if you get too close, and you can die by it. And you just heard one, that little buzz. What you want to do is you want to come over here and you want to grab these. These are your wheels. 2 of these are going to be at 1% durability. The other 2 are going to be at varying durability. Go ahead and headbutt. Shove all the wheels through the wall. Chuck them outside. And then what you're going to do is you're going to gather him up and stick him in your tractor once you get back down and outside. Just making your way back, remember that the hornet's nest is still there. Do not get killed by it, or else you will be a very sad person. Whenever you respawn, you actually do not respawn at your house, you respawn at the church in town. Meaning that if you die and you have no way to get home, you have to wait and hope that Penna comes back before you die of thirst. Again. Go ahead and chuck all of the wheels into the van. Do not worry, they're not going to be staying there long. Well, I should say van. Tractor. You get the van later. Go ahead and chuck all the wheels into the tractor. They're not going to stay here long, because we're heading literally just up the road to get to Flutari. And Flutari is going to be the one who gives us our new tires. Also, the other reason why you do not want to, the other reason why you're not going to be able to use these tires is for the simple and joyous reason of, guess what? Is because, guess what? You're going to be dealing... These tires will not pass inspection. period, no matter what durability they are at. So, parking brake. Never forget the parking brake. Go ahead and back off of the mansion. You will not need to come here anymore unless you want to take a photo of the spirit that roams around, which you can technically do from the outside. Just go ahead and make your way over to Fleetari. Be mindful of the bridge here, because while the tractor does technically have a snorkel on it and is immune to water, you can still get it stuck. You're going to head up here to Fleetari Shop. Fleetari has a wide abundance of things. One of the things he has is his car, which you unfortunately cannot steal anymore, because you don't spawn with the keys for it. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and chuck all the wheels outside, really close to his shop. Technically, this front garage, technically this front lot is part of his. Is technically part of his. But you just want to chuck them all outside. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is what is known as the time skip. Don't forget to shut down the tractor. And turn the lights off for it. Several key areas will always have an outhouse here. Go ahead and save and quit to menu. Once the game gets done saving, it will save as what is known as a default.es2 file, which you can find, and that's the file that you want to double-click on in order to edit in My Summer Car Editor. Go ahead and hit continue. I do have My Summer Car mod loader on, just for the improved frame rate counter up in the top corner. But as you can see, it is darker, a lot darker. We have skipped 2 hours. Continue to do this until you reach morning, and I'll be back with you as soon as I get done with that. Alrighty, after a while you will get to daytime. However, Fleetari's will not be open yet. You'll need to skip until he is open. Also, there are several parts that you will find around here. One of them being this, the radar buster. You technically will get fined if you have this in your car, whenever you get pulled over by cops. However, it is fairly easy to detach. It does not have any bolts needed. Over here on the other side, you will also find some long racing springs. Over on the opposite side, you will find the GT wheel, and you'll find the GT wheel, the GT steering wheel, and the GT valve cover over here. Go ahead and pick those up because you do want to, because part of the game is transforming the Satsuma into its GT variant eventually. Go ahead and drop both of those into the tractor as well. Once that is done, go ahead and run back over. And yes, you can technically interact with Fleetari's car, you cannot drive it though. There are also long springs over here that are for rallying purposes. However, you will not pass inspection with those springs. Now go ahead and skip until Fleetari is open. Once Fleetari is opens, go ahead and run over here, run inside, and you're going to be talking to Fleetari himself. Pick up the service brochure and scroll over until you see tires. You will have the option between going standard or Gomer Gobra. Gomer Gobra is of a higher quality. Unfortunately, we will have like no money left, and we do need to take a job just in case we end up missing something. Actually, there are several jobs. Most likely, we will run across a junk car on the way back home. So I will go ahead and order the Gomer Go retires. He does give you quite a bit of a discount to start with. So you will... So it actually did not take that much money, surprisingly. Unless I ordered the wrong thing. Oh well, whatever. We'll figure it out. He does give you quite a bit of a discount for your first transaction. However, I did not expect it to be that much. It might be due to the date. Now, you're just going to go ahead and drive your happy little self on home. I've actually parked here for one reason. Firstly, as you can see, our hunger bar is red. Go ahead and grab your shopping bag. What you're going to do is you're going to set it down somewhere where you can get it. And then promptly close that door. Exit driving mode and promptly close that door. What you're going to do is you're going to... Grill, cooperate please. Hello, Penna. Yes, Penna will run into you. It's fine. It's not like he's going to be able to get around anyway. Go ahead and hit... What you're going to do, get the shopping bag, hit F on it, and basically you're playing roulette trying to get one of your pieces of food out, which it's going to be ridiculous about it. There we go. And eat the sausages by pressing F. As you can see, all of our hunger is gone. Over here is a friendly fellow named Jock. You could technically get money from him by brewing him homemade alcohol, and he very much appreciates it. However, you cannot sell more than a certain amount at a time without... However, you cannot sell more than a certain amount at a time without drinking some yourself. So, for our purposes, it's not worth it. This is the firewood job. It is the highest paying job of the whole game for labor. We will be doing that once the call comes in for it. Just keep on driving down here. You will eventually run into this little farm here. Once you hit this little farm, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and make a right-hand turn at the intersection just up ahead. So just follow this road, you'll see a four-way intersection. Turning left will just lead you back to that farm there. It is good. It's good for whenever you're doing the sewage jobs. But what you're going to do is you're going to want to make the right-hand turn. And then follow this road down to a T-junction, which I will be right back with you whenever I reach there. Once you reach this T-junction, you may recognize it when you turn right. That is right, you need to make another right-hand turn, and you will be headed on your way home. I will meet you all whenever I get back to the house. Alright, once you reach home, go ahead and slow down real quick. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be checking your mailbox. For good reason, too. Bills often show up randomly and unexpectedly. It normally takes about a week for them to show up. GT Grill. But it normally takes about a week for them to show up. However, it usually takes far less time for them to actually pop up and start charging you. However, I will warn you in advance. If you miss a bill, they will cut off your phone and your electricity. So it is imperative that you keep an eye on it. Go ahead and activate the parking brake, shut the tractor down all the way, and go ahead and do something. Depending on how much you pulled out of the shopping bag whenever you first got it, you're going to want to take it inside immediately, because the food inside here can spoil, and spoil it will. So go ahead and bring it inside. The easiest way I found to do this is rotate it, where you can shove it into your fridge, just like so. Put her down. It might shove something out, that's fine. Just shove it back in. Close the door, headbutt through the fridge, press and hold the open button, and it'll just open everything inside of the fridge without having a huge mess. Now everything's inside the fridge and everything's refrigerated, especially the brake fluid. Go ahead and run back here to the sauna. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn the thermostat and the timer all the way up. You don't want to leave it like this forever, because you don't want to leave it like this forever, because if you leave it like this forever, you are unfortunately going to have an issue. Turn it all the way up, grab the bucket that is sitting here, take it into the next room over. Yes, your character will start cursing at this point. It seems as if some of our fuses have popped because of the thunderstorm. Go over here and check which ones have popped. It looks like, unfortunately, it was just the bathroom one. Turn the breaker off. Unscrew the fuse. Right-click it to remove it. Run outside. Grab a new fuse. Grab the new fuse. Bring it inside. Press F to open the box and drop the new fuse out. I believe each one of these carries 5 fuses. And yes, your character will start cursing. It's alright. We don't have to curse ourselves. Next, take the new fuse, insert it into the fuse holder, insert it in, make sure it's screwed all the way down, turn the power back on, and then come back. Next, turn on the water. You want to fill this bucket completely. It takes quite a bit of time for it takes quite a bit of time for this here to warm up. So we are gonna go ahead and wait on that. We're gonna go ahead and wait on that. While doing that, go ahead and run to the bathroom. And yes, you do technically urinate. And yes, there is a urine meter. Press P to pee. The stream will keep on going down. It will keep going down. Once it gets to a certain point, press and hold in order to squeeze it all out. And keep doing this until your urine bar is all empty. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shut the bathroom door, and we're going to go take a shower. For the shower, do that. Stand under here and watch your dirtiness disappear. Once your dirtiness is completely done, just go ahead and turn it off. And turn off the shower. It will be going. Fatigue is taken care of by sleeping. And I will be back as soon as this sauna is done heating up. While waiting, you may get a phone call. It is usually someone calling about a job. In this case, it is Grandma. She's wanting us to deliver sugar, sausages, and milk, which is absolutely possible for us to do. She will give us a little money And we do get to interact with her, learn some story and all that. But basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to watch the thermometer over here. Unfortunately, I don't know how much of it I can show on camera because it is technically a male genital part. That is the thermometer. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to wait until that hits about 50 or 60. That means that the stones are usually good and hot. Pick up the ladle, equip it with F. Hit left click in order to get some water in it. Right click in order to throw it at the stones. It will make this huge cloud of steam. Your stress will go down significantly. Do this until your stress is completely gone. And yes, it is somewhat difficult to aim. So I will be back as soon as I get all of the stress down. Alrighty, once you're done, make sure you turn this off. If you do not turn off the sauna, you will have your house catch on fire. Also, your stress goes up thirst goes up really fast in the sauna. Make sure you don't have anything to deal with that. All the milk fell out of the fridge. Get all that stuck back in there real quick. You know what, I'll just drink the milk. You don't have that much hunger and thirst anyway. And yes, you can technically dispose of these bottles. Just head outside. There is a trash bin over here that you can throw the bottles in and burn them. Just do note that you don't want to do that inside the house. You will catch your house on fire. Now, it is time for Sleepy. Make sure all the light switches in the house are turned off, except for this one in particular. Make sure you turn that light switch on, or else you will not be able to see a blasted thing when it's nighttime. Sleep, just go ahead and interact with this bed here. You'll be able to sleep. But next episode, I believe that we will absolutely go through and start with the car building. So I will see all of you in the next episode. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!